All right, today I'm going to teach you how to do a long tail cast on. While this is not the easiest cast on for knitting, it is probably the most commonly used. It is very stretchy. After you get the hang of it, it's really quick and easy. The biggest downside is that you have to guess how much yarn you're going to need for that long tail before you begin. I'm only going to cast on 10 stitches, so I don't need that much yarn for my tail, but there are recommendations out there that you can find that can give you some estimate of how much yarn you need, and generally it's based on like how much, if you wrapped it around the number of stitches that you want, how much yarn that takes up, and then you do some multiple of that. So I'm just going to start off, because we only need 10 stitches, with just leaving a tail. I'm going to leave, I don't know, about 18 inches. To start with a long tail cast on, you need a slip knot, like most cast on methods. I'm going to make a slip knot in my normal method, or at least this is the easiest method to show people. I'm going to tuck this tail end underneath the loop that I made from my ball. Grab onto it. Take my tail and my working yarn back next to each other, and then pull until I have a loop. And I'm going to get this just a little bit smaller. Now, in a lot of cast on methods, it's not that important which direction you have the yarn when you put it onto your needle. It's kind of important, but it's not incredibly important. For this method, it matters. So instead of putting my needle that I'm going to cast onto in my left hand, I'm actually going to put it in my right hand. And I'm going to slide that slip knot onto my needle so that my tail yarn, which is right here, is on the bottom, and my working yarn that connects to the ball is on the top. So I'm going to go in this direction, tail, working yarn. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten up that slip knot. For this method, you are going to be holding these two strands of yarn in your in your left hand, and you're going to hold your needle with your stitches on it in your right hand. You can do these opposite if you're left-handed, or if you're somebody that can use either hand at least a little bit, you might just want to learn it this way. Okay, I'm going to take these two strands and kind of put them in a fist. Then I'm going to take my thumb and my pointer finger and kind of like I'm pinching them together, slide them in between my two strands and spread them apart. Now I've made a V where my working yarn is up here and my tail yarn is over here. And I'm holding the two ends of the strands with my other three fingers. To do this method, I need to shift my hand back a little bit so that I can get to this loop where it comes around my thumb. It's going around from the needle counterclockwise. I'm going to take the tip of my needle and go under that outside thumb loop. Okay, so here we go. Under that loop. Then I'm going to go around this strand. And I'm going to come back in down here through that loop that's on my thumb. I'm going to let my thumb go and then kind of pull back. I just made one stitch. So let's do that again. I'm holding my yarn in a fist. I'm going to take my pointer finger and my thumb, poke them through my two strands of yarn, spread them apart, lean them back. I'm going to go down here under the outside loop of my thumb, around this one that's on my pointer finger, and then back through, so you can see it down here, where my thumb is, so right along my thumb. And then let go and pull back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to cough, so I paused it so you wouldn't have to hear that. All right, so as you do this, you are consuming yarn both from your working yarn and from your tail. That's where people run into frustrations or why they don't like this method. It makes a really nice ridge on the bottom here, and it's very stretchy when you're finished, which is great if you're trying to do anything that needs to stretch or maybe involves some yarn over, so it's going to have a little bit of laciness to it, and you don't want it to be too tight along that starting end. The problem is when you run out of this tail and you have like 3 stitches left to put on your needle, and that's very frustrating. So let's do a couple more. You could continue casting on this way until you get the number of stitches you want. There are also methods where you can start with 2 strands of yarn from 2 different balls or 2 different ends of the ball, and that can make it a little bit easier. If I'm not doing tons and tons of stitches, I just roll with it, and if I mess up, I just start over. So, put my yarns together. Remember, this is my tail, and this is my working yarn. Put my thumb and my first finger between, lean it back, go under the outside strand from my thumb, around this middle one from my pointer finger, and then back along my thumb, let my thumb go, slide it back out. And I'm just going to keep going like that. And the beauty of this is it gets really kind of rhythmic, and it's kind of satisfying. So that's why people like it. Every now and then I feel like it gets kind of twisted, and I have to let this one go and let it unloop a little bit. So it's a little coiled up. But we can just go to town with this and cast on however many stitches we want. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I only wanted 10 stitches, so if I have extra ones, all I have to do is just knock these puppies off. They'll just kind of disappear, and then we're good to go. So when I want to start knitting, I'm going to put the needle in my left hand. Don't use my tail, but it has the position of the working yarn correct so that I can just put that behind and then start knitting into these stitches.